Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Sunless Sea Sunday, which is not the current permanent alliterative title for the day, but that's not sticking. But we are playing Sunless Sea, and it is Sunday, so it's a bit lower than I meant that to be. Hi, how are you doing? Also, this music is occasionally such a vibe. Like, I'm sitting here drinking my hot cocoa and basically listening to shanties. My character isn't a pirate, but like I've been attacked by several. I have no idea how our intrepid captain is going to, I don't know how well they are going to survive during this. They're going to try very hard, of course. But yeah, trying very hard and actually succeeding are two completely different things. I'm still very, very surprised that the current Captain Grimshank had lasted the entirety of our stream last week. Also, hello, Gailey. Welcome. I have no idea if the current captain will survive as long as, if he'll survive the same amount, if they'll die about halfway through. I don't know. Because, for anybody who does not remember, when we wrapped up the last game, we got involved in the middle of a war between rats and guinea pigs. In any other game, that would be like the weirdest sentence to say. I don't know what to make of that. Gailey's here trying to read an accounting chapter. Really want to be watching more Untamed stuff instead. But think about it this way. Untamed is your reward. Untamed is your reward. I was like, sorry about this, guys. Give me like 1 second. Sorry about that. Some things had to be dealt with real quick that I completely did not do. We're good, though. We're good. Kaylee has a new special interest and is living for it. I mean, as you should, really. But I am biased, and I am fond of special interests, so yeah. I feel like that sentence made no sense, but it's okay. It's okay. Things. I had a thought and I lost it, and it's fine. I will get you watching it just so I have someone to share my feelings with. I need to start watching it. I know I do. You expressed an ounce of interest, and now I'm determined. I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I will watch it. I will. I need to find time. Time is elusive, like many things in the world. As I'm fond of stealing this line from a favorite animated show of mine, time is dead. Meaning has no meaning. Things are happening. And a lot of things are happening. It's a lot. To be fair, that's fair. I accidentally decided 3 days of my week no longer mattered because I was watching it instead. Yeah. See, yeah, that is my fear. That is my fear when I start watching this. Like, everything else I need to do will just evaporate. So I need to dedicate a time to me just actually watching that only after I've done everything else I need to do. I need to structure it, is the thing. I will figure it out. I just have not been able to do that yet. For now, though, jeez, I have hot cocoa, I have our game, and I got you guys. And, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a Sunday, I think. Plus, I've got D&D later, so, you know, A+. And now there's Animations, a 127-chapter long novel, 3-season audio drama, and a manhwa for me to focus on after homework. Yes, homework first, then indulge the special interest. Understandable. Also, it is ridiculously cute when you find something that you really enjoy and want to keep focusing on. Like, I miss that. I haven't had something like that in a while, I feel like. Which makes me kind of sad. Anyway, let's not focus on sad things. Let's focus on weirdness. Such as the weirdness we're going to be dealing with in Sunless Sea today. Then am I ever hoping you like this? I hope I will. I've heard good things. Yeah, it occurs to me as we're about to flip over into this. I don't even remember where I'm supposed to be going anymore, which is terrible. I know I was looking for... I think I was looking for Gator's Morn, but, as we've discovered, things have gotten a bit, turned around. Yeah, it did not go quite according to plan. Oh. Yeah, things absolutely did not go according to plan. At all. We have wound up at an island where we're basically dealing with guinea pigs and rats apparently engaged in a war, which I know sounds absolutely weird. And in any other game, it would be absolute nonsense. Sunless Sea, like, nothing's out of the scope of anything. Like, clearly, you can have guinea pigs and rats fighting each other. Clearly, this is a thing. We wound up discovering Pigmont Isle last time. That was the name of the island. And we're trying to find, I believe the island we're trying to find is Gator's Morn, but I might be misremembering. We're trying very hard to find it because we have been paid a decent amount of money by an incredibly shady figure in Fallen London to gather some supplies and bring them back. So, hopefully, we will be able to find the damn island today that we're supposed to be going to. Of course, that entirely depends on whether or not we survive the guinea pigs and the rats. Wow. You know, if you don't have the context of Sunless Sea, I'm legitimately aware of how absolutely mad that sounds. Like, A rat and guinea pig battle to me sounds like something out of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know about any of you, but that's the vibe it gives me. So, hopefully, we can continue on our quest and survive the pigs. Not the pigs, the guinea pigs and the rats. And hopefully we can make it back to London in one piece. But I don't know. We will have to see. It's going to be interesting. Because again, I don't remember if the game actually saved where I think it did. I mean, I just watched a whole TV series where musical instruments are used as battle weapons, so anything makes sense at this point. I mean, fair. Although, come to think of it, rats versus guinea pigs, that seems vaguely like a Sheogorathian thing to me. I don't know why. I don't know enough about Sheogorath to say that one way or the other, to be fair. It does seem like the oddest thing to me, though. I feel like he'd enjoy it. He probably set it up, knowing him. Yes, let us get into things. Rats versus guinea pigs sounds like some sort of underground pet store fight club. Yes. But now, here's the question. Who wins this fight? Will it be the rats or the guinea pigs? In real life, I feel like the rats would win. I feel like rats could be a bit more vicious than guinea pigs, but to be fair, I don't know a whole lot about guinea pigs. Like, maybe they're secretly vicious as hell. I don't know. The little information I know about guinea pigs seem to me like they would lose to rats, but I don't know. What the animals do when the humans are away. Fight club. Indeed. Because let's see. Let us see if we actually will survive this or if we will die in the ensuing conflict between the rats and the guinea pigs. Again, sentences I never thought I would say. Sunless Sea does this to me. I swear. It's so weird. I love it, but it is so weird. I still really appreciate this start screen, by the way. I don't know why. It's just, it gives you the right vibe. Plus, you've got like this lantern buoy that just floats in and out of the frame, and it's just, this gives you the right vibe for the whole thing, I feel like. Yeah, it is. It's really simple, but it works so well. Like, it is just very... And, like, this is the start screen music, too. So, like, that combined with this entire thing and the buoy just slowly moving in and out of the frame, it sets the mood so well. I love the soundtrack of this game. I've been listening to it a bit. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I want to see if I can track down... So, this is one of two video games that are like this, that are set in this sort of Fallen London universe. Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies. I want to find the Sunless Skies soundtrack and just listen to it and compare. Sunless Skies is pretty much like this, only aerial as opposed to water. Which I haven't touched that yet either. But, yeah, like, if this soundtrack is this on point for the whole vibe of the game, I can only imagine the soundtrack that goes with Sunless Skies is, like, A+ for the vibe. I can only imagine this, because I've never heard it. But I will. later. Okay, let's see where the game remembers where we were. Oh, I didn't know that. According to our helpful hint at the bottom of the screen, while leaving the prow light on reduces terror, it also makes you visible to enemies and burns your fuel faster. Well, sailing back to fallen London, that light might be off and my terror might be through the roof. I don't remember where I am in terms of, like, supplies. Okay, yep, it remembered where we are. We are now currently dealing with the battle of the rats and the guinea pigs. Oh god, my terror is at 79. My terror is 79. It has never been so high. We are probably going to die. I don't know what happens when your terror gets to 100. I have fear. I have fear. We made our decision and we wound up siding with the rats in the war. So let's see what winds up happening at this point. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of what can only be termed checkpoints, as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringers and saluted the chief engineer. Soon we come upon a small colony, smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats. Perhaps only 50 Ratus Faber altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light beaming out from a stump of chickenwood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow, and was almost too bright to look at. By its light, I could see several raised mounds of earth, suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water. An albino rat mending nets while others stabbed sharpened sticks into the waves. Further inland was a barracks, where a sergeant barked drills at a small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. "Welcome to Marinia," said the chief engineer, voice warm with pride. "It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we've rousted the cavies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council." With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. Okay, so we have multiple options. Where do I want to go? I can visit the barracks. Take a closer look at something called the Rat Star. Go down to the beach. Let's go look at this. I took a closer look at the Rat Star. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, twitching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. Blue as sapphire, but endlessly more brilliant. It's not a star, of course. Not really, but try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me working too hard to convince them, says this is better for morale, but just look at it. Look! She offered me her goggles. I managed to work them over just enough of one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was studying. It was a scintillac, but unlike any I'd seen before, blue as a sapphire and more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its color was tremendously soothing. The chief science officer tittered with pleasure as I handed her goggles back. Those of us who've been to the Cavvy side of the island and lived to tell of it say there's plenty of glow there, plenty of bright in the water all around, but nothing like this. We took it from the island center, Mount Ararat, only it's not a mountain, of course, any more than this is a star. It's hollow. There's sweet water inside and corals crawling all up the walls of it. But nothing that glows save this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us. So we looked at the Rat Star. Let's go visit the barracks. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were the few rats around her really all she had to launch an attack? We were fighting impressive odds. I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chicken wood jerky to gnaw on. There's more of us below ground, she explained, but not enough. The cabbies are bigger, and there's more of them. We're better with weapons, but haven't got the stuff to make 'em with. Most of us came here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur on our backs. We can fish, and we nibble on chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cabbies came with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raid 'em sometimes, but there's so few of us and we can never hold on to territory gained for long. But that's of no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to build our republic. And the Rat Star, she added thoughtfully after a moment. Of course, we want that too. Let's check out the beach. An albino rat smiled up at me from his mending work, looking dainty and a little shy. Chickenwood floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed, so we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We come up with all sorts of things, blind fish, crabs, sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle. But the fishing would never be so good without the Rat Star, he beamed. I think it only draws good fish and keeps the scary ones at bay. I know the chief science officer doesn't believe it, but I do. That light is our livelihood. All right. And now the bells of the War Council ring, because we've read through all of this. The chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. So you're going to help us beat the cabbies, he said, a hard edge to his voice. But how exactly? Hmm. Okay, I think we're going to go with this one because this one's a low-risk challenge in comparison to this, where I feel like there's a higher chance of this failing. And with the rats and the numbers they're in, I feel like strategy is probably our better bet. Let's see. I offered my strategic assistance. We engineered a distraction, and that the LBs could use to plunder the cabby ships and turn the tide in their favor. I dressed up one of my sailors in a mess of shabby cloth smeared with prisoner's honey, and instructed him to roll around in the black earth of the island. Soon we had a glorious mud monster to send thrashing through the chickenwoods towards the cabbies. The distraction worked perfectly. The cabbies diverted their force towards our makeshift beast, leaving the rats with very little opposition as they plundered the grounded ship. They returned triumphant, as did my sailor, laughing, having led the cabbies a merry chase. Within a few hours, the rats' diligence had resulted in the building of a remarkable cache of weapons, with which they successfully routed their enemy. The rats, ever egalitarian, shared their spoils in addition to the promised food and fuel. Oh, awesome. Seated in the challenge, Hail Marinia. An occurrence, your Pigmote Isle might quality is now 4. Pigmote Isle civilization quality is now 5. Pigmote Isle spirit quality is now 3. Gain 4 bales of parabola linen, 1 scintillac, and 14 fuel. Okay, cool. The House of Cavi had fallen. Meridia was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. Then, I can invite one of the rats onto the ship. Let's just go, I think. Because I can always revisit this. We had eaten our fill, and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. There, you finish your diary entry, and the final dregs of the rat's surprisingly good wine. They line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new republic. Oh my god. So we have a port report. And a new nation has been founded. I love the flavor text on this. Time passes on the Neath's most adorable empire. That is amazing. Okay. So, I think the place we need to go to is somewhere in this black area over here. I worry greatly about we're good on fuel. I worry about our supplies because they are incredibly limited at this point. We may wind up eating crew. I feel very bad about that. But at least we have fuel, which is better than I thought we'd get at this point, to be honest. Just gonna head this way, see what happens. Because again, I'm pretty sure the place I need to go is somewhere in here. So we will see. Turn that off. There's a lighted buoy, and I have concern. Oh, that's just a lighted buoy. We're good. We're good. Uh-oh. Recurring nightmare. Watched. Uh-oh. The sea is bright as milk. False stars above are black on a pitchy bed. Something is watching you. Its gaze enfolds your boat. You are as transparent as glass. Flee the nightmare or go deeper into it. Both of these give me decent chances of success, and I have the chance for a secret with this, but I think I'd rather reduce it than deal with that, so let's flee. And escape. The sea churns in your wake. You pull away from the eye into the shallower waters of waking, but terror clings. Oh great, we've gained a terror. Joy. Uh-oh. Weight is lifted. Your dreams have passed. That's good. Isn't it? Okay, we've lost one terror, but we're still pretty high up there. That's concerning. It's not. I have many concerns. I don't know what happens when that gets to 100. I don't think I want to know. Oh. Stalagmites loom in the distance, like the cranes of wolf-stacked docks, but vaster. Corsair's forest, our lookouts are watchful. Some sort of beetle has invaded your morsel of ship's biscuit. It waggles its antennae impertinently. What is this island? Uh-oh. Oh, great. Leave us alone, damn it. Oh, great. Great. We are probably going to die here. I hope not. I was also hoping there'd be a port up here, but apparently not. It's fine. Start heading up north. It's back on. Looking for a port. There are plenty of islands, but no port. This is incredibly concerning. Oh wait, no, this is it! This is it! This is the place we need to go to! It's telling me there's no island, which is a lie. But I think this is the place. I think this is the place. Yes! Okay. Okay. Whew. Restless nights. The watches of the night you pass softly past the hatch to the crew's quarters. Perhaps not. Gator's Morn. Let's, Gator's Morn swarms with pirates, smugglers, and captains of uncertain allegiance. You could learn a lot here, but you'll need to go carefully. I need to buy this stuff from the guy, which is awful. Do you have shops here? There are shops here. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God, there's shops. Okay. Buy a set of supplies. I can't buy more than that because I need the coin I have for, oh God. I need the coin I have for this. Shivering Corsair with a package. Oh God, they're cold. Take them from me. Take them. Where's my money? Don't you cheat me. Take them, but I want my money. Oh, I feel it lifting. It's gone from me. You never saw me. So we need to bring these back to London. Great. It's going to be fun. Let's overhear rumors. What have we got? Some say she's a clay man who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible. Others insist she's the personal muse of the king with the 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she's Ailes on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More sober voices mutter that no, that's just an Alceus-class vessel. Whatever the truth, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely ports of the sea where her flag is said to fly. Let's see what we can learn from people here. Gator's Morn swarms with pirates, smugglers, and captains of uncertain allegiance. You could learn a lot here, but you'll need to go carefully. A steaming bathhouse on a spur of rock. Water slops over the edge of tubs, out over the edge to join the sea far below. Scarred captains boast drunkenly of the prizes they've taken, and the victims they've marked out. You listen from the shadows. So now we have a port report. Excellent, excellent. Let's explore a bit. Oh, geez. Fights on the Morn have a staccato quality. Careless lunge will send you plummeting to your doom, so wait and choose your moment carefully. Yeah, let's try to flee. Oh God, we failed. One pulse-pounding chase through the shanties of Gator's Morn later, you finally evade pursuit. You count heads. One short. Uh-oh. We failed a challenge, and we've gained 5 terror and lost a crew member. Cool. Cool. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. I am lying. It is not fine. Okay. We've basically done everything we can here, I think. Overhear rumors of a pirate poet. Oh no, that's the thing I did earlier. Okay. Okay. At this point, we need to start heading back towards Fallen London. Which we'll be able to do pretty easily. I worry about my terror numbers, because they are very high. But I just want to make sure we're going the right way, because Fallen London's up that way. We also do not have a whole lot in the way of supplies, so... Oh, look, my terror's at 89. What happens when our terror gets higher than that? I don't know. I am afeared. I am very much afraid. Oh, our terror's at 90 now. Cool. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. It's not fine. We're also going a bit faster than I normally would, but we are low on supplies and also my terror is higher than I'd like it to be. Oh, look at that. It's 92. It's 92. Of course it is. Of course it is. But we do have a port over here, so I might... Oh god. There's a pirate ship. Please leave me alone. I'm going to port here. Whew. Okay. Can't buy fuel. We don't need that, but we're just gonna be here. I'm gonna explore a bit. So we lost more crew. Cool. That's fine. Compile a port report while we're here. Because those I can give for money. This I can exchange for money later. It's fine. I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know how we're going to do this with the crate and getting back to port. I really don't know how we're going to do this and not potentially F everything up. I worry. I worry about this. Let's see, can I speak to my officers? I have 3 secrets, so let's see about increasing my... Pages are good. Iron, I feel like, needs a boost, so swap a secret with her. The gunner ran with the regiment, the urchin gang, who keep a cannon in a high clock tower. But the urchin gangs reject adults, and now she plies her skills at sea. From the way she stumbles over this story, she still misses them. We've lost a secret, that's fine. We're not really talking to her much. My veils are okay, though. Uh-oh. A questing tentacle. Gleaming, it rises from the sea. It coils lazily around a sailor who does not speak or cry out. She only steps into its embrace and is gone. Ask and no one will answer. Did you imagine it? The sea is quiet. Nothing stirs. But you saw the moon-pale limb of the monster. Was it there? Did the sailor leap? Surely you didn't push her. Surely. So we're down more crew at this point. Oh, and we have no supplies. Cool. This is fine. This is fine. We're going to start, like, eating our crew in a bit. It's fine. And our terror is 92. This is fine. This is fine. We're very close to Fallen London at this point, so I'm not overly worried. This is also why uh-oh. Hushed voices, tired faces. This isn't the time for rousing speeches, but a quiet word here and there will help. This is a tough challenge. We might not pass this. Perhaps you shouldn't have made that joke about boiled bat. Sailors take their superstitions seriously. We failed in a challenge, and we're almost at 100 terror. I don't know what happens when that hits 100. I'm very scared, but we're almost back in London, so I'm not overly worried. Uh-oh, we're at 100 terror now. Oh, great. Mutiny! Fear and despair have destroyed the loyalty of your crew. Half of those who remain have taken up arms against you. You've taken shelter in the bridge while their shots ring out around you. Both of these are terrible. We're going to try to cut them down. You take cover with your loyalists and hold them at bay as long as you can. One by one, you run out of ammunition. When they storm the bridge, you fight them hand to hand to no avail. One of them smashes you through the glass of the bridge windows. You tumble to the deck as they shout in desperate victory and land with a final crunch. We died. Oh, we lost. We died horribly. It's over for now, but you now lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. 4 captains now will never return to London. Welcome back, Gailey. We reached 100 terror and had no supplies, and our crew died. They killed me. They committed mutiny, and we died. We're down 4 captains. I was trying to power back to London, but it didn't quite work out as I would have liked. We tried very hard, but we can choose a legacy to preserve something for the next captain, at least. So there's that. In memoriam. This one lasted longer than the other ones did. I'm actually very impressed that they lasted as long as they did. Okay, so this particular captain, I don't want to inherit the weapon because that weapon was terrible. Oh God. Okay. We're going with the correspondent for this because we get to keep my chart. And I don't know about you, but I don't really feel like mapping everything out again. So my pages will start a bit higher and I'll get some money and a chart. So I'm here for the chart, really. Could also choose to inherit an officer, but like if I went with a shipmate, but to me, I'd rather keep the chart. Just because I do not feel like mapping all of that out again. So now we get to start over and select a brand new captain. Okay, what is this captain going to be? It can be a street urchin. Your urchin gang cast you out when you grew too tall. You took to sea rather than graduate to larger crimes. That last big store was enough to buy a ship. A poet. Educated and articulate, you seek sensation at sea. How lucky you had a legacy to spend. Your long-vanished father had a rich patron, it seems. Veteran of the campaign of 868, you fought in the invasion of Hell. London's armies lost, you survived. Your loot and pension have bought you a command. An ordained priest. You fell from grace, there's nothing left ashore for you. An anonymous benefactor has found this way out for you. Perhaps at Z you can overcome your appetites. A natural philosopher. I think we're going to go with the veteran this time around. Just because the iron bonus will be nice when dealing with,
Ominous sunless Deo bedoomed among streamers. Have you contemplated the mortality of the cosmos today?
Well, considering I died right before you sent that, I'm going to go with yes. Hi, Antu. How are you doing? Iron bonus will be nice. And we have a shady cook. They will not trifle with you. You promised a job to your acquaintance, the shady cook. He'll do until you can find someone less disgusting. Okay, choose an ambition. Your father was lost at sea. You never knew him, but you've often dreamed of him. Find and return his remains to London for a decent burial. Gather 100 tales. Learn all you can of the sea. Write a masterpiece. Retire. Oh my god. So this option's locked right now. But apparently one of the ambitions you can go with is establish a colony where you're an absolute ruler. A utopia, perhaps. That's an option, but we're going to go with wealth, I think. The Enterzee is full of riches, death and darkness too, but it's worth the gamble. To win, gather a substantial retirement fund, upgrade your lodgings to a mansion, and retire. Okay. Captain, an irregularity with the harbor master's office. They wish to know what term of address do you prefer ashore? I think we're just gonna go with Captain. Captain it is. The last piece of advice. Explore, take chances. This captain will probably die. The sea is hungry, but each captain passes on lessons to the next. And we can just choose a random appearance. I like this. This one with the tentacle hair amuses me. We're going to go with... I like how choosing from this bottom row just because it makes the sailors seem a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Nondescript is, I believe, the word I'm looking for. This one, what should we name this captain, you guys? I'm feeling like, what should we call them? I do not know what to call this captain. But also, last session, the last captain wound up teaching us what happens when, your terror is at 100 and you have no supplies. Apparently, mutiny happens when you're this close to freaking London and you die. What is this? Oh, that's a beard. Okay. For some reason, I really want to call this pirate Red, so that's what we're gonna go with. They're not a pirate, they're just a captain. I don't know why I'm calling them a pirate. Fallen London. Deep, dark, and marvelous. All voyages start here, and this is where successful voyages end. Labyrinth of Tigers? Oh, this is the thing where we can find a creepy friend to come with us. A passenger. Someone on the docks wants to board your ship. Agree to carry the August travel writer to Gator's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for transport and is keen to commission your ship specifically. The August travel writer shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Thank you. It's Gator's Morn I'm bound for first, he says. I hear they... Ah! He hurries over to your stoker, who's carrying his steamer trunk up the gangplank. No need to trouble yourselves. Give it here. Remember, Captain, Gator's Morn. I'll pay you 150 echoes when we arrive. I don't know what he wants with Gator's Morn, but sure. He will give me a decent amount of money for that, so it's worth it. Let's read the morning newspapers, see what we got. The Echo Bazaar, that enigmatic marketplace, has increased its tax on love stories. The traitor Empress has forbidden singing in the street outside her palace. The anarchists of the Calendar Council have inexplicably dynamited a drinking fountain. The Ministry of Public Decency has located and destroyed a nest of gallbladder wasps. Interesting. Let's go back to London. Let's see. Can we... hire more crew. Offer passage to a tomb colonist in Venderbite. This is locked right now, but like I know we're going to be going to Gator's Morn eventually anyway, and I know where that is. This tomb colonist wants to go north, so we've got 8 crew. Gonna buy some more supplies because we are going to need those. And I can reopen that. So this is the map we wound up saving from our last captain, because we've uncovered a decent amount of this, and I know where things are now. So, or at least where some things are. At some point. Let's see. We are going to go... I think our first mission, the safest option would probably be to bring the tomb colonist up north. So let's grant passage to the tomb colonist. Let's grab another thing of fuel. And off we go. Hopefully, this captain will survive longer than some of the other ones have. Although our previous captain wound up lasting through the entire session, so that is very impressive as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so Hunter's Keep is on the way, so we're going to stop off at Hunter's Keep and then go up to Venderbite to drop off this tomb colonist. Also, because when I get up to Hunter's Keep, I can get a port report, and I can turn that into the Admiralty. Because, it is Delicious Echo, and I need that. You hit a point when you're playing this game where you've uncovered so much of this map that you want to keep it. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I absolutely do not want to give this up now that I've got the thing. Because I've uncovered a decent amount of this map. Let's turn into Hunter's Keep. Dock here. A hump of dark rock swathed in mist, like 100 other Untersea islands. But there's a grand house, windows aglow, lawns impossibly green and lush in the false starlight, raked gravel paths. You stand on the dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. Let's present ourselves at the house, because why not? A maid with smoldering topaz eyes shows you into the parlor where 3 young women wait. "A visitor!" the youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. "Do excuse the indecorum," she says. "Visitors are rare. You're very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe. The cheerful one is Lucy. You're in good time for lunch. Will you join us?" Let's lunch with Phoebe. Phoebe has a story to tell. Of 2 lovers parted by water, of a raven that carried messages, of a fragment of the moon. She beats time on the table as she speaks, as if to a song only she can hear. The effect is hypnotic. Your attention drifts out through the skylight of the dining room to the false stars glittering in the roof of the cavern. You drift like a puffball spore. The undersea shimmers below. Islands lie like the mineral specimens on black velvet. Ships bob like wood ships between the islands. Vast spined things pulse in the depths. There's a scent like the scent before a storm. "The storm came," Phoebe said quietly. Phoebe quietly. everything changed. Somewhere in there, you finish the last course. The scowling maid reluctantly serves cheese and Bath Oliver biscuits. That's all for now. You now have one memory of distant shores. You're acquainted with the Sisters of Hunter's Keep. Gain supplies. Lost 40 hunger. You now have the Gods of the Z Storm's attention. That's slightly concerning, but it's fine. And now onward we go. We're going to turn this light off also because it conserves fuel a bit. Like, periodically I need to remember to turn the light off because it does preserve fuel. And also, if there are things in the water here, I don't want them attacking me. I have several concerns about that. Dust, echoes, even a sepia tint to the air. These are the waters around the tomb colonies. Now, if we stick a tiny bit closer to shore, the glim lamp at the prow fizzes arcs. Also, something awaits us in port. I like this notification, but it scares me a little at the same time. Because I never know what exactly that's going to result in. While we're here, hold on, let's speak to the cook. What's your want? You might say more, but a coughing fit takes him. Eventually, he straightens up and wipes his mouth slowly with his forearm. The shady cook is not the most hygienic of officers, but it'll do until you can find someone better. I don't see, why did the shady cook choose to go to Z? He looks at you directly in the eyes. Slowly, he repeats it, more slowly. Sea of lilies. He licks his lips very slowly. Eventually, you have to look away. The Sea of Lilies is somewhere in the east central Undersea. Apparently he wants to go there, but I don't know why. Before we replace him, we need to find a captain. Not a captain, another cook. He concerns me, though, if I'm being honest. Like, look at this face. This face is very concerning. Tara, go down, please. We are close to shore. There's no need for you to be like this. This is Curse's point. Zayla raises her head, sniffs sharply. Blood on the wind. Uh-oh. Trying to get up here to port, which is, we're close to it. Like I said, we're trying to stay close to closer to the shore anyway. Hi, Chibi. So chaos ensued. We ran low on supplies, and we were this close to London after finding the place we needed to find, and my crew mutinied and killed me. So, chaos happened after dealing with the rats and the guinea pigs. Again, sentences I never thought I'd utter, but here we are. Yeah, like, if they had waited a few more minutes, we would have been back to London. Like, I was burning the hell out of the fuel I had to try to make it back in one piece. But also, my terror was, like, at 100, so I don't know what else would have happened. Your passenger has been drinking. Ahoy, she chortles. Defend yourself. She launches a tipsy assault. Your crew hang back, chuckling. Thanks, crew! Tomb colonists have a lifetime of bitter experience. Some of them are the deadliest combatants under the earth. Possibly this one is, when she hasn't drunk quite so much. You'll never know. She salutes you, laughing after you disarm her. Good fight, she opines. Then she staggers backwards and falls over the side. You never do find what happened to her, but at least you have a rather magnificent cavalry saber and her belongings. Oh my god. I brought the tomb colonists to Benderbite and defeated them in an unexpected duel. We now have one outlandish artifact that belongs in a museum. Assuming that colonial imperial appropriation for the purpose of hegemonic taxonomization is a suitable response to a problem of intercultural contact, which it probably is because museums are magnificent institutions. Gained an iron, lost a tomb colonist, and gained more supplies. Excellent. Let's see, what do you have for shops here? Can I buy some more? Oof, I do not have a whole lot of things. Let's see. Go check out the tomb colony. Let's explore Benderbite. Here they favor candlelight over glasslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. The tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture, until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. A serpent image. Here, Azalor shouts. There's something nestled in the mossy crook of a gray-leafed tree. A wooden serpent, lacquered with black, red, and yellow. Its eyes are garnet flakes. That'd fetch a good price at the bazaar, the sailor observes. But it has a cursy look, points out another. So these two options I can't really grab. We have the option of leaving it, or take it anyway, but that's a very chancy challenge. Yeah, it's probably safer to leave it. Perhaps it's cursed, perhaps it's not, but your crew gets superstitious at the drop of a bat. Let it rot, you cry, heathen thing. The crew raise a muted cheer, though the sailor who found it looks disappointed. Understandable. Let's plotting what? Out in the tomb colonies. Along the coast of the Untersee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace, but they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. A port report, excellent. Oh geez. Let's visit the first curator. Z Captains, the first curator, gives audience. The first curator is responsible for the preservation of the tomb colonies. It has been here much longer than London, like all the oldest tomb colonists. But even tomb colonists dissolve in the end. Its time is close. No more light, the obsequious steward cautions you. The curator is deathly afraid of moths. He opens the door and you step into near darkness. A pair of luminous lamplighter bees buzz in a laceted ivory tube. There's no other source of light. A bandaged shape no larger than a child lies crumpled on a couch. It lifts his head with obvious effort. It takes several seconds for you to distinguish its voice from the soft buzz of the bees. Listen to the whispered request. Okay, what does it want? Sea Captain, Silkskin, not much left of me. I will go into the Grand Sanatorium. Bring me colors. 7 colors. Pay well. 7 colors? Cosmogon, Irigo, Pelagian. Steward has list. Find them here and there across the wide black sea. Ask about the Grand Sanatorium. One hears the name whispered here and there in the arcades of Venderbite. Oh, Silkskin, you don't want to know. The check lane becomes a cough. We don't die here below, not unless we go to Z, so we needed something else, somewhere to end. Let's accept the commission. Thank you. This poor flesh thirsts for colors. No more words. It collapses, rustling back onto the couch. Even the effort of speaking seems to have diminished it a little. The audience is over. As the door opens, it shrinks from the finger of light that reaches across the floor. Outside, the obsequious steward nods. The book? Yes, the book. He hands you a slim, illustrated volume. The curator is old as dust. We will all be grateful if you do it this one last favor. So we have a book. And now we need to find all of these colors. I'm not sure how we're going to, but we're going to do it. It's fine. How are we doing on... What's our hold look like? Okay. Got supplies. I have an artifact. I don't have a port report, but I have a port report. Not great, but I'd like to have multiples, but one's okay. Oh god, no, light off, light off. Light is off, so the Z-Bats do not find me. Oh my god, why? Oh my god, my light was off. What do you want from me? Oh great, and they banged my ship up. I had my light off, like they like put a hole in my freaking ship. How dare they? How dare they? How dare these things? Okay, we're gonna go a bit slower now because this is... I just realized how fast we were going. We were basically booking it. It isn't necessarily a bad thing, given that we're really close to London itself, but I don't know. That feels like the sort of thing I probably should not be doing, even though I'm doing it anyway. Because what is my life? Slow down a bit. Stock. Okay. Oh god, what the hell? Her Enduring Majesty's Customs Service works closely with both the Ministry of Public Decency and the Masters of the Bazaar. Today they've selected you for inspection. Don't cheek them. I don't have anything that they don't want, so... let them do their worst. We literally have nothing to hide at this point. They roam your deck like wolves. They tear through your belongings like termites. At last they leave. Let's collect messages from the harbor master. On the clatter of song in the dockside, it soothes the soul. Are there messages for you? Let's see. Something has changed in the Neath. Someone wants to sign on. You have one of this. Another day, free London evening. Rose Market bustles on Roser's Wharf. Who will be there today? I don't have the money to hire the clattery air on, which I'm slightly disappointed by. My lodgings. Do I have anything new here? No, and my terror is low enough where I'm not overly worried about that. Let's go into London. Let's go visit the Admiralty's office and give them my vendor bite thing so we can get some more items. Okay. Ask if there's anything in particular they need. Well, if we can be assured of your discretion. This port. Speak to our agent there and return. We'll see that you're rewarded. Retrieve strategic information from the Iron and Misery Company's funging station, somewhere not far from home waters. Okay, we can do that. Also, we need the supplies and the fuel, so I feel very bad about making a deal with this dude again. But here we are. A very fine evening to you, Captain. My, what you call mentor, is very fond of adventurous Z-Captains, and he would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation, on account if he's so fond of Z-Captains. Behind the blind bruiser on the dock stands a dray piled high with fuel and supplies. Uh, Sadly, I don't really have a choice because not a whole lot of money. Uh-huh. Well, my patron hopes you find these little gifts to your liking. He expects that perhaps someday you might choose to call on him at the Medusa's Head. Should that day come, we will make you very welcome and give you any safe contact what you might require. Good evening to you. He salutes and is gone. Great. But we have more fuel and more supplies. You now have Menace's Suspicion. I love the flavor text on this. Oh, you rapscallion. This will increase as you conduct criminal activities or have contact with rough sorts. The higher your suspicion, the more fiercely the exiles will search your ship. Fun. Okay, but we're good. So I need to go to the funging station. I need to... London, let's... Oh, I can't go to the university just yet, because I don't have a secret. Let's go to the Rose Market. Nope, no reason to be here either. I want to hire our surgeon on, but I don't have the money to do that. Or I do, but I'd have no money at that point. And, ooh. I mean, hold on. We're going to the funging station, which is right over here. Can hit up a couple of places along the way to get port reports. Possibly make it down here to Gators Morn to drop off a passenger, but I don't know. This would be enough to do that with. I don't want to have no money on our journey over there. It's a long trip, too, so I'm slightly concerned about this, especially since, my hull is awful. But I have no money, and my only options at that point are to get the rats to fix it up, which, just seems like a bad idea when there's a chance they could muck it up. I still don't know if this is like a lighthouse situation or if it's just I honestly don't know if this is like a lighthouse or if it's just stationary or what. Because this always seems to be here. It doesn't seem to move ever. I don't think it's a lighthouse. I just think it just sort of exists. 'Cause that's a lighthouse over here. There's a port down here. I want to hit up. So we have to start heading down anyway. Alright, is it here? No, it's fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where am I going? We just don't know. I'm trying to get to the funging station down here. By Demo's. This is where I can get a port report and some suspicious things, which I am here for. I am mildly concerned that we haven't actually run into anything that's going to attack us yet. So I feel like the last time I came this way, I got like assaulted like crazy. Stuck. I&M has a fungar operation here, felling giant bulbous shrooms for building materials, harvesting curely for its medicinal purposes. It's desperate little outpost of something like civilization. Up puffs the affable factor. Oh, hello, Captain. Thank God for visitors. We go quite mad out here otherwise. Haha, quite mad. How can we be of assistance? Give the pass sign to the affable factor. Hold on. Let's have tea with him first before we do that. You sit in the veranda of the factor's house looking out over the fungal jungle, an expanse of green and sour gold. The air is thick with hovering spores. The scones are stale, even the tea has a hint of mildew, but the factor is good company. He shares odd stories about the ice and roses of Aram, the monstrosities of the Sea of Lilies, and a little restaurant in Venderbite where he enjoyed the most extraordinary seafood. Venderbite, I know. I'd never met a tomb colonist who could cook, but you must visit the place, you know it. He also has a load of bulges frond carted aboard your ship. He waves away your thanks. I've eaten so much of the stuff I fear might be transformed entirely into fungus. He leans confidently towards you. It happens, you know, but one does have to eat a lot of it first. Now of 10 fragments, gained 1 supplies. I've been told of an exceptionally fine restaurant in Venderbite. Let's give the pass sign to the factor while we're here. Now, Yes, I have it here. A courier ship to Mount Palmerston, soft up to resupply. Tell the Admiralty. Tell them I miss my children. Tell them I can't take it here much longer. The spores, the dark. We've completed our commission. Let's gather a port report. Remote Island. And if we want to start heading... I do have a passenger I need to bring down to Gator's Morn. And I do have the fuel for it, but... I have some slight concerns. This is going to go poorly, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. This is how we died the last time. Coming back from Gator's Morin, so I have some concerns. But, like, it's... I have concerns. It's probably not the best plan, actually. I say as I keep heading in this direction. This is probably a terrible idea. And yet, I'm continuing in this direction. What does this say about me? I don't know. Like, this is... Something drifts face down. That's concerning. This is basically how I wound up dying the last time. Just, like... Can we repair the ship out here? Like, I probably could, but I'd go through supplies in the process. Seems like a bad plan. Oh, it's too quiet. It is way too quiet down here. Turn off the light for a bit. Oh god, which significantly increases our terror, I'm noticing. No landlubber would notice the change, but you feel the air prickle on your skin. Somewhere new. An electric shiver to the air. Storm is watching, the sailors would say. Like, I am concerned, but we're continuing on this way. Uh-oh. That is the ship down there, I think. don't want to deal with it. It has not noticed me. Oh, that's a lighthouse. Okay, well that's less concerning. Oh great, that guy sees me though. Well. You're probably gonna die out here, it's fine. Shoot. Oh yeah, we're gonna die. Yep, our hull is terrible. Just gonna power on past and pray. Oh god, yep. Oh, he's mad now. Wow, okay, our hull is terrible. We have to make it back to London like this. Oh, this is bad. And we can't repair our ship out here either. Oh, this is a problem. This is very much a problem. Where even am I? You're gonna head up this way. Oh god. Oh god, we're gonna die out here? I'm calling it right now. Okay, no, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think they have a repair station here. A shipyard, you do not. Okay. Okay, we are going to book it back to London and pray, basically. Because do you see this? Our hull integrity is 5 out of 75. It's bad. Oh no. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone, sir. I just want to get back to London so I can hopefully fix my ship and not die. Oh god, it's following me. It sees us smoking too. Like, we are very easy pickings at this point. Okay. Whew. Uh-oh. Lookout shouts far above the false stars in the cavern roof are shifting. A rare and ominous event. What now? Let's record the change and assign a name to it. 3 of the false stars wink out altogether as suddenly as closed eyes. The pattern that remains is hopeless and meaningless as the cast dice. Somewhere, a sailor begins to sob. We've gained 2 terror, and we're unlucky in this. It's fine. I sort of anticipated something like that would happen, but oh, we can't even go full speed anymore. We can't go full speed because our hull is terrible. Wow. Wow, our hull has never been so bad. Our hull has never been so bad. And I absolutely do not have the funds to repair the ship. So, this is going to be bad, you guys. My internet keeps breaking. Oh no, Chibi! On the plus side, we've made it back to London. Yay. I don't know how the hell we're gonna fix the ship, though. We have no money. Or at least not a whole lot of it. I honestly do not know how this is gonna go. The closed captions are weird. I love them. Let's declare all controlled goods because we don't have anything. Pay the customs duty on any untaxed souls or romantic literature you're carrying. Surrender any smuggled sunlight. This will also reduce your suspicion if your suspicion is 5 or more. Your enduring majesty thanks you. One of the revenue intones. Did he just hide a smile? Suspicion hasn't changed because it's lower than 5. Echo remains unchanged. Excellent. Let's collect messages from the harbor master. Something has changed in the Neath. Someone wants to sign up. Oh god, the Bruiser wants to talk to us again. Yay. Fun. Good evening, Captain, and what a marvelous evening it is, if you don't mind my saying so. And given that it is my impression you're an obliging sort, I imagine you won't mind at all. Sorry. And since you're so very obliging, perhaps you wouldn't mind making a little detour via Mount Palmerston with a few articles of cargo if you happen to be in the area. The cheery man will of course cover your expenses for this trifling inconvenience. Sure, why not? It's fine. It's fine. You need to repair our ship, though, and we absolutely do not have the money for it. I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's hand off that. Oh, we have more echo. Okay, yay. Yay. Strategic information. Let's pass it on. The Admiral sits up, though he steeples his fingers and pretends calm. He's hard to read with his glasses, but he reads the summary intently. Satisfactory, he says at last. Eminently satisfactory, actually. Good work. Take this for your trouble. The clerk will see you paid. Lost 1 strategic information. Gained 150 echo. Yay. Gained 1 favor. Yay. Reports. Don't have any more. What else do they need? The Admiral deals directly with more sensitive information. What else can I get from him? This port. Speak to our agent there and return. We'll see that you're rewarded. Visit the port below and return to London. You can check the details in your journal at any time. Frost found in the north. Have I been there? I don't know if I've been there. Turn to the docks. Let's go to dry dock. We need to repair the ship, so yay, okay. This is fine. I can live with this. I can live with it being at 65 as opposed to 5. I can live with that. Let's buy some more fuel because we need that. And some supplies, please. Okay, we're good. We're good. Where does he want me to go? Want me to go to Frost, some port up north. Want me to go some port up north, but I don't think I have it marked on my map. Well, while I try to puzzle that out, this feels like a good place to actually take a bit of a break, since we are at the halfway point. So, um, please get up, my friends. Please get up and move about, and we will reconvene in like 5 minutes or so. Because I need to, first of all, figure out where the hell I'm going. And second of all, make sure I'm supplied to get the thing. Jeez. Okay, be right back.
A whole year, damn.
So I'm about to sit back down, and I see a resub notification. Eris, what? What? Thank you for the resub, much appreciated. I can't believe it's been a year. Jeez. I'm happy that you've enjoyed the stream enough to hang out with us for that long. The ad just ended. Oh, excellent. Excellent. So, let's resume our exploration. Unfortunately, our previous captain passed away. I'm doing good, actually. Our previous captain passed away. This is captain number 5. But at least they warn you when you start that, oh, by the way, you know, your captain will likely die. So at least you know that's a possibility coming into this, which is always nice. Hold on. So I made a discovery in the course of this. So I need to go back up to Port Palmerston. But also, the Admiralty has put in a request that I also pick up something that, according to my research, is in this area that I've not discovered yet. So I'm hoping I can safely go through the Salt Lions to where I need to go and back, but I don't know for sure. What's the story of this game? I never really paid that much attention to it. So the gist of this is you're essentially just exploring the Undersea. I don't know if you've ever played or heard of the browser game Fallen London, which used to be the Echo Bazaar. But in that, the premise is that London has fallen into a series of caverns below the Earth, hence Fallen London. And basically, you're trying to survive, trying to complete an assortment of explorations along the way and cover the entirety of the map. This map is a combination of efforts from previous captains. Dock here. Let's reconnoiter the island so we can get a port report. Oh, the sisters are willing to entertain me, apparently. Cool. Cool. Let's eat lunch with Cynthia while we're here. Cynthia grabs your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue. Her hair is wild and tangled. Bats might nest in it. It seems to you you're sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to a story of a murder, an axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop? Cynthia asks. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll have the maid wrap something up for you. You can't be hungry. It's not safe to be hungry. So we've gained 1 terror. We now have a tale of terror. Thing of supplies. Lost 12 hunger. Our iron is good. And now we have Gods of the Z, Salt's attention. Great. Great. Salt is watching us. This is cool. It's fine. This is fine. I'm slightly concerned in heading up this way if I want to do like a direct beeline for where I need to go. Just because I remember what happened the last time I tried to get up close to the Chapel of Lights. And pain happened, basically. Also, for some reason, I can't go at top speed anymore. I don't know why. I have oh god, no, light off, light off. I don't want those bats to see me. And I can't power past them. Because I apparently broke the ship. I don't know what I did, but I apparently broke it. And we are going to try to avoid those bats as much as possible. Because they will just keep hitting my ship. And that's not great. And And I'm gonna wait until they are safely off screen before I turn my light back on. Which I'm hesitant to do because my terror is already 36, but... Oh god, nope, we're gonna avoid the glistening in the water. Because as I have learned, that means monster, and, do not want. So we're bypassing part of our initial plan, but... So I was going to... see about hitting a... Oh god, why? Why? I can't even go faster if I wanted to, and I'm mad about it. Because that's an angler crab, and I'd like to power past it, but I can't because I don't have... Beware, your engines will occasionally explode. Oh, fun. Fun. Okay, we need to come up here and try to avoid the angler crab. Because F the angler crab. Okay, let's come up into Seal Port. Get our port report from here. And then continue on our way. I'm kind of miffed that I can't go at full speed, though. I don't know why. Let's get what we need here. Compile a port report. Records of the activities of the Unmakers, such as they are. Right of Stone and Silence. We have a port report. I can hand that into the Admiralty when we get back to London. The Salt Lions are two basalted beasts, cathedral-sized. They frown eternally at each other across the black waves. The north one carries an encampment. Creeping human figures eat away at its features like rot. Picking. There's a supply dock below. Hi, Yumi. Visit the Unmakers. What have we got? We get funding from the Bazaar, it's true, but Station 4? I wouldn't call us Station 4. It's a little grandiose. These stones are stuffed with secrets, but most of them are used as garden statuary or occult ballast. Most of them. Some go down to the places under the Bazaar. More tea cakes? So we've gained some fragments. We've lost 5 terror, and that's all for now. Excellent. Okay. So now we need to make our way Stoddar's Haven, and then Port Palmerston. And I think we'll be okay. I'm still concerned. Like, why can't I... Okay, we're gonna turn that off, because that is... I think that's a... I don't know what that is, but I don't want it to notice me, so... Oh, geez! That's why we can't move at full speed. We've lost crew. We've lost so many crew, and I didn't even notice. This is what happens when your ship gets knocked down to, like, 5 hull capacity, by the way. I did not realize that. I'm gonna need... Once I'm done with this venture, I need to hire on more crew. I have concern. I have several concern. But that's why I can't move at full speed. Because I am blind and did not notice. Okay, I can justify turning this back on now. For anybody who's just joining us, such as Yumi and Eris, our previous captain, who lasted all of our previous session last week, passed away terribly at the beginning of this one. Let's just say we ran low on supplies. My terror was at 100, and a mutiny was staged when we were this close to getting back to London. So that was my day. It was interesting. I'm still impressed that our previous captain lasted as long as he did. I honestly did not realize our sailors were, like, this low. So this is going to be a slight problem. This is another reason to travel without the light on, but I'm, like, look at this. Just traveling even for a short bit without the light on results in terror increase, and I'm concerned significantly. Uh-oh. Okay. Lookout shouts. Far above, the false stars in the cavern roof are shifting. A rare and ominous event. So rare that this is the second time this has happened this playthrough. Let's try to record a new name. If the new shape seems well-omened, your crew may be cheered. Who knows? The Z-Bat. Bats is luck, a gaff-toothed stoker avers. All agree. Leathery but lucky. So we've lost 5 terror, actually, which is pretty good. Frostbound is some distance to the north. Yay! We found where we need to go, you guys. Well, part of where we need to go. I think the actual port I need to go to is right there, but Stars Heaven is right here. I don't know what that is. And if it's another ship, do not want to deal with right now. Okay, it's not. Thank God. So we're gonna come up here. Dock at this port. Frostbound. You have a mechanic. The tireless mechanic has had enough of Frostbound. He smiles at you over his spectacles, teeth chattering. Brr, so glad to see a ship at last. Ready to offer my services. I'm an engineer. Finest skill ever hire. Treat engines like my own children. Not that I have children, too busy. Usually busy. We do need the mechanic. I'm hesitant because that means we'll only have like 10 echo after this, but... Report first. You need the money. Let's grab that. Tireless mechanic has had enough of Frostbound. Yep. Spot of rust, spot of rust. Soon see to that. You there, help me with a spot of rust. Appoint your new officer by dragging him from the officers tab to his slot at the top of the screen. Do this in port, not at sea, or you may unsettle your crew. Well, we don't want that. We do not want that. Put him in there. Okay. Let's see. Talk to the squatters on the deck. We're keeping the steps for the game of truths, a helpful riddle fisher explains as she fills your cup for the 3rd time. Every year, the people of Irem and Wither meet here for, she pauses, contests. She finishes vaguely. The difference between a question and a riddle. One day, someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle. You spend a pleasant few hours while the tea is supplemented with Iremi liquors, pale withern beer, and something the riddle fisher describes blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. We keep enough to spare, the riddle fisher grins. From time to time, a captain gets lost and comes up here, and we always feel bad for them. I mean, that's a bit of a relief. I did need... I mean, like, I'm not going to turn down supplies and fuel at this point. I'm absolutely not. Hold on. Sorry your internet is awful today, Chibi. But it looks like the place I need to go to is further up here for the Admiralty. I'm hesitant, especially since Port Palmerston's right there, but... let's do it. If I get this, and then... if I get back to... where I need to go... Like, once I turn all of this in, I'll have a decent amount of money, can hire some new freaking officers. Not officers, but actual crew, which will be nice. I thought that port would be where I'd need to go for the Admiralty, but apparently not. Supposedly, there's another port up here, but I don't remember seeing one the last time I came up here. Because the Admiralty wants me to pick up some information here, too, but... yeah, like, there's not another port here, so I don't know what the hell the Admiralty wanted me to do. There's not another port. Like, that was where I should have been. And dude was just not there. So that's a bit annoying, and at this point I've reluctantly circled around this island and did not really want to, because I thought there would be a port up here. But apparently there is not. So now I'm just annoyed, and I've wasted fuel to circle around this damn island when I need to be going over here. I really need to hire on more crew, though, so I can get double time back. Like, I miss that. If you have less than half of your full crew complement, the ship will not move at full speed. Lots of people died at one point because we got hit very badly. It was not fun. I really could have sworn there was a secondary port up here. But apparently not. It's fine. I like that we do have these little beacons of light around here, but it's a tiny bit unnerving at the same time. I'm gonna try to stick as close to this island as I can, at least until I know I need to veer off. Just because I worry about terror numbers. I've seen what happens when we hit 100. It's not fun. I don't recommend it at all. Yeah, my crew basically mutinied, and it wasn't fun. On the plus side, the fog bank is useful. Fog bank means it'll be harder for other people to see me, but it'll be harder for me to see them too. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Fingers crossed. Oh god, we still have so far to go. We still have so far to go. I'm worried about fuel now. Turn that off. Because light off conserves fuel. Again, I don't like doing that because going with the light off means we increase our terror. And terror ain't great. But we will live with it. Oh, great. Spooky music. Cool. Cool. This is fine. Where are we? This is fine. It's fine. This is the island I need to go to. I'm hesitant to turn the light on, because I believe the last time I came out this way, something attacked me, but... oh, look at that! Azaler is praying. understandable. This is the port we need to go to, so... my kingdom for being able to travel double time, but I can't until some guy back in London pays me. This is fine. This is the slowest trek to Port Palmerston I've ever made. Fuck. Okay. Whew, Mount Palmerston. Oh, thank God. Okay. Let's chat to the port folk. There was a revolution in hell, and the aristocracy of devils fled here. Here they plot in exile. A shrug and a curse. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there, and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for us all, isn't it? So we now have a port report. Excellent. Let's deliver the souls. You give the hooded shape a sign of recognition. It hisses the reply you expected. You hand over the crate and receive a chitty marked with a thief sign. Awesome. Oh god, I'm very tempted to go up to the crater, but I don't know what will happen if I do. Let's check it out. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but the road to the Brimstone Convention is paved with cinders. Do they admit visitors to the Brimstone Convention? Probably not, but you never know, they might sell tickets. Look down and see the Port Palmerston like a toy and the ruins like gravel. You've come far, but the volcano's cone still rears above you. Rest a little before you go the last half mile. Occurrence, your objective, encounters with the wistful deviless. Quality is now 1. You found a little cottage by the gate to the Brimstone Convention. Uh-oh. The road to the crater ends at a brass gate in the crater wall. Beside it stands an oddly charming little cottage. It's thrown together from pumice and basalt, but features honeysuckle. An equally charming deviless in a tea gown leans against the cottage wall, twirling a parasol and fanning herself. I am the guardian of this place, she remarks languidly. You may not pass, but can I offer you a cup of Armillaria tea? No, thank you. Perhaps not. Let's go back downtown, because I don't trust her at all. Okay, we've done what we came here for. Let's head back to... Let's start heading back home. What did the demon lady ever do to you? She's a demon, and I don't trust her. Also, if I'm going to die in this game, I would rather die in the ocean. I would rather die in the Untersee than by a demon. Uh-oh. Nope. Leave me alone. Great. It can overtake me, too, because it's faster than me right now. Chibi, no. I'm not... No. No. The ship just abruptly disappeared. That's concerning. I'm not gonna question it too much. But, at this point, we do need to start making, like, a beeline back for London, because I'm concerned about making it. I'm legitimately concerned about making it back at this point, because I have 6 things of fuel left, and I had 14 when I left. So, Concern is real. Also turning that light off. I know it increases my terror, and this is higher than I'd really like it to be. But keeping the light off increases like the longevity of my fuel. And I do not want to die in the middle of the Untersee. Thank you. So, hopefully... Where are we? Okay. It's very unsettling, though. Oh, look at that. It's very unsettling because all I can just hear are like the waves, like the water hitting the ship. That's all I can hear. No music, no nothing. I am legitimately scared about making it back to port just because of the fuel barrel numbers. I'm gonna stop up here at Stoddard's though, see if I can coerce them to give me another thing of fuel. The plus side, our supply numbers are okay. But that doesn't help me with fuel. And fuel is my primary concern right now. Also, I don't know if you guys can see this. There's a tiny little bug that's just zipping around here. I keep trying to kill it, but it eludes me. So I apologize if you guys see me like swatting at something because it's like hovering. It's very annoying. Dock here. Frost found. Let's see. Ask this sticks and tea with them. Yay! Okay, we have fuel now. They gave me some fuel. I'm okay with this. Okay, these are high-risk challenges. A riddle fisher is wearing a blue and red scarf that marks him as a contact. It would be a riddle fisher. What are the odds he'll give you a straight answer? Well, let's see what happens. When will the towers topple? Which Troy was drowned? How many battles until the iridescence went east? Perhaps the riddle fisher is trying to help. Perhaps they're trying to drive you out of your mind. You're forced to give up. The mission's a failure. We tried terribly, but it was not successful. We did the best we could. Okay. Okay, so we have to... We're gonna try to make a beeline back for Fallen London, but... I have concerns about us... Damn it! I have concerns about us making it there. And our fuel not completely being depleted. We're going to keep the light off, which, again, I'm really hesitant to do, considering how high my terror currently is. But, oh, we don't want to go near that. That is a maelstrom. No, thank you. Fuel is for losers. Real captains burn crew. I mean, the last time there was a possibility for the crew to be, useful as a food source, they basically wound up staging a mutiny. So, not great. Currently trying to, like, book it back to London, but I did not realize I was incredibly low on sailors, so my ship can't move at full speed. It's not great. This is like the slowest return to London ever. It's fine. Ooh, I need to start pitching down a bit. That looks like another maelstrom, and I would like to avoid that. Turn that off again. Kind of one thing you could do if you really want to maximize fuel efficiency. Flick your lights on for terror tick, then back again for fuel tick. Kind of metagamey though. I mean, at this point, I don't know that anything is completely out of the question. Oh god, please don't see me. Please don't see me. I can't book it away from you. Like, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Oh god. Yeah, okay. I'm literally just trying to live my life. Leave me alone. I haven't even done anything to you. What the hell? Just gonna power it. Just because F this jelly floor in particular. My guns are shit. Like, even if I fire at it, it's not gonna go well for me. Okay. Gonna dock here for a second. Is it the Unmakers? Okay. Gonna hang out here until this asshole goes away. Oh, great. Great. My hull is awful. At least it's not 5 this time. At least I am not sailing into fallen London with 5 hull integrity. Because yes, that did happen. It wasn't fun. Oh boy. Okay. Oh god, we still have so far to go, and we only have like 4 things of fuel left. Will we even make it back to London? I don't know. We even make it back? I do not know. I have concerns. I honestly feel like at some point we might wind up just dead in the water. And just dead. I will say though, the ship being, the closer we got to 100 made the game a little more interesting. I will not lie. Like, we had a tentacle appear and drag a crew member off the ship. It was weird and nightmares, and it was honestly a wild time. The ship is not moving at all. Like, what the hell? Ship, you need to move. I can't stay here in a fog bank. Come on. Please move. I am incredibly nervous. Like, look at this. This is terrifying. This is terrifying to me. It's not fog, it's the wailing of the dead. Oh my god. Oh wait, this is the sisters. This is the sisters, I think. Okay. So this isn't too bad. This is the sisters' place. So like hopefully they'll want to talk to me. It's fine. Stock here. Hunter's Keep. Let's lunch with Lucy because at this point we've eaten lunch with all the others. Lucy leans over and whispers to you confidently. A complex story about a butler, a pig, and an inheritance. You don't follow all the details of the plot, but somehow the pig ends up in an attic and the butler in a vicar's bed. Candles flicker, dishes enter and leave, and the wind butts gently at the window panes. By the time the plum pudding arrives, you're as cheerful as you've been in months. Woo! Okay, we've lost 10 terror. You're acquainted with the sisters, but something has changed. You gained supplies, memories of distant shores we get, and we now have Gods of the Z, Stone's attention. Uh-oh. I don't know what... I always get really nervous when I have that condition of, like, the Gods of the Z. It's one of their attentions, and I always get very nervous when that happens. So I don't know what it means. For me, or for anything else. And it's very concerning. Oh, thank God. We're back in London waters. We're back in London. We have 2 things of fuel left. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, this was a terrifying journey. Made even worse by the fact that I did not realize I had, like, no crew, when I set out. Oh, I effed up so bad. It's fine. It's fine. We're back here alive, and that is literally the only thing that matters. Uh-oh. Some things are too illegal for the customs service to admit the existence of. The ministry are here looking for those. At this point, I honestly don't have anything to hide from them, so sure, why not? They leave scuff marks on the newly scrubbed decks and take great pleasure in tangling the rigging. They find nothing more dangerous than a moldy ship's biscuit. Whew. As soon as the gangplank touches the quayside, the terrors of deep Z lighten. Walk taller, smile more readily, but what dreams may cling? Terror is always reduced to 50 when you return to London if it's higher. However, if your terror was high, you may suffer nightmares later. Cool. Let's collect messages. Something has changed in the Neath. Someone wants to sign on. The Blind Bruiser attends to business on the dock. Let's deal with him. What a a propitious and encouraging occasion this is to meet again, here in this place, which has been so very fortunate for us both. Allow me to shake you warmly by the hand, since you've demonstrated your unswerving commitment to fair dealing and honest conveyance. Very good. My patron will toast you. Accept payment. Whew. Cleaning the kitchen cupboards, emptied one out. Cat went to investigate. Something scared her and she jumped and bonked her head on the shelf above her. Oh my god, Cat! Here's your compensation and a little fuel and a few barrels of biscuits, what a certain other captain has widely surrendered for the common good. I will take the good word to my patron, and if I'm a man of my word, we will see each other again. Unless a whale eats you, of course, in which case I hope you will not think poorly of me for wishing that we will not. Oh god. Now I want some more. Let's see. Once more we find ourselves here at the quayside of what is, I suppose you might say, the lip of the well of opportunities. Let us both drink deeply from this well, by which I mean my patron has a task for you. Take payment across the ocean and bring back a little package. Of course, if you return to London without the little package, I will probably have something sharp to say about it. Fine. Bring the package back here, and it's my hearty recommendation you avoid the ungentle attentions of the excise. On account of if you return without the package, it is of no interest to my patron whether you've lost it or had it taken from you. Good luck, good luck. You've been asked to collect a package from Polythreme in the Sea of Voices. Oh, that's a new place. Okay, sure. Let's give the Admiral my port reports. Hunter's Keep, Palmerston, Frostfound, Salt Lions, what else can I do for you? What else do you need? Okay, he wants to go get something from the Empire of Hands, okay. Thing I don't have right now, but that's fine. Let's go to the dry dock. Let's repair my ship, because it is painful. Let's hire on the cloudy air, because a surgeon would be a good thing. London. Let's see. What else? Let's go. We need more crew, like, badly. Okay. We're over half. Our ship will go at double time. Yay. Lost 30 Echo, 1 Terror, and gained 3 crew. Excellent. Let's see. We need more fuel. And I can't go too far because I need that 1,000 for other things. As much as I'd love to be able to, like, trade it for more interesting things, I can't do that. What do you want? An urchin tugs your sleeve. Governor wants a word. A brooding figure waits at the lamplight's edge. I'm in need of a reliable agent. Failing that, an inventive one. Here are my requirements. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates, and he won't ask how you came by these things. So, what does he want? Something warming. They sell in Mount Palmerston, somewhere in the north of the Untersee. 1,000 echoes for 7 sealed skins. Okay, I need, like, spider silk in order to do these, but... Okay, so that is a thing I can get for him eventually. That's fine. Okay. Proposal from a man of business. Yes, I see that, but where does he want me to... Tomb colonists, Admiralty, Commission... I still have concerns about these. I don't know what that means. Gator's Morn is somewhere I need to go. I also need to... Oh, geez. Where was it that he wanted me to go for that? It was something that started with a P. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? God, I did not make note of where he wanted me to go. Huh. Well, this might be a problem. This might be a problem. Oh, wait, no. Polythreme. That's where he wanted me to go. Which could be in any number of places. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Let me double check my map. Okay, so Nuncio's there. So the place I need to go could be anywhere in this black area. It could be like up here. It could be down here. It could be over here. I have to go to Polythreme, which could be literally anywhere. This is going to be interesting because I've uncovered like a decent chunk of the map, but like my guess is if it's anywhere, it's either up in here or like one over this way or over this way. I do have to drop a passenger off at Gator's Morn anyway, so it's not like it's not on the way. But, I'm not looking forward to this. I don't even know if this is going to be like enough in terms of supply or anything to get me where I need to go. It's off partway to refuel at Mount Palmerston. I think I saw it had 9 Echo fuel. I could... Like, it depends entirely on where this place is. Like, if it's down here, by like closer to Gator's Morn, then that's not really gonna help me. But if it's actually up here, then that's another thing entirely. We are gonna head down towards Gator's Morn to check first because I do have a passenger I need to drop off there. But this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I'm calling this right now. Of course, if this captain winds up dying before we wind up leaving today, I will laugh. Uh-oh. Crawling stars. The lookout shouts far above. The false stars in the cavern roof are shifting. This is the third time this has happened during this game. Well, let's see. 3 of the false stars wink out altogether as suddenly as closed eyes. The pattern that remains is as hopeless and meaningless as cast dice. Somewhere, a sailor begins to sob. The coastline never changes if you die, so getting to know what's available there can be a good idea. Yeah, that is true too. I'm still not sure like what this ship is. Like, I know it exists, but past that, that is like all I know. There's no advantage to going half speed. There is if you don't have a lot of fuel. And you're worried about that. Oh, I can dock next to this thing. Huh. Speak to the crew. In the bleaching glare of the lens, among the smells of oil and metal, you sip tea and chat. The Z's terror recedes. Okay. Excellent. Doesn't burn any more efficiently. Oh. Well then. I don't know. I've never played this game very seriously. I only started doing this month. So, my knowledge is extremely limited. Are we going in the right direction? Yes. Press H. Oh my god. That is amazing. I'm here for that. Okay. Going to stop very briefly up here. Just to get a report from the funking station. Stock here. Oh. One of the funking workers is watching your crew and watching the cloudy air especially. What does he want? That is a good question. What do you want? The tomb colonist draws you a little ways away from the cloudy air. Don't tell her you met me, he says in a hoarse rasp. Her mother cut my voice. Hoped to fix it so I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter, so I wouldn't want to. He wheezes. Didn't work. Operation's never completely effective. Need to know my daughter's well, happy, finding enough patients, getting enough to eat, and so forth. Exchange for the simplest news, he explains himself. I'm her father, he says. Ordinary engineer, not the sort of parent she would want. Apparently, let's get a report. Except a volunteer, huh? One of the company's bulgiest fellers has negotiated an early release from her contract. It's the Sproutlings, she tells you. I keep picking them out of me porridge, and my hair and my eyes take me away. I'm a good worker. I mean, crew member. And it only costs me 1 echo. You pay the release fee to the factor, and your new Zailer settles in. Ready to Zail now? Yes. Onwards. I honestly did not know that we got a horn too. Like, that just amuses me. Okay, off we go. I love that, you know, your officers don't really change either. Like, they're the same, technically the same people, even though they might have died with your captain. Like, on previous adventures, they can still come with you. It amuses me. My last captain, I sort of started an affair with her. I did not intend to. I literally just hit a button to see what would happen, and suddenly I'm having an affair. We're gonna turn that off. Uh-oh. Now and then, rocky fragments fall from the roof beneath. The decks of older ships are pocked with scars. The sound is one no landlubber knows and no sailor will ever forget. This one has smashed the glass of a deck binnacle. Ill omen, one sailor cries. The god in the roof. Storm is angry. Make a sacrifice. Okay, we can either do nothing or make a sacrifice to avert misfortune. We have the supplies. I think I can justify it. The story's Storm is the noisiest, angriest, and least reasonable of the Z-gods. Better not take chances. Your sailors know the words. You mumble them. A gift of wine and fish is suitable, marked with the captain's blood. Ow! Bound with copper wire and cast overboard from the bow. The package bobs for a minute, and then is sucked beneath the ship. You now have the gods of the Z Storm's attention. Cool. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. God, no. This is the 4th time this has happened. Plus side, they don't seem to notice me, so We try choosing the safe option instead. I do that a lot. Okay, I have a passenger who needs to come down here. Come in here and dock. Gators Morin, let's drop off the travel writer. Here's your payment, Captain. I'll be back by the evening bell. We'll discuss my next destination then. The travel writer sets across the planks with good speed, his briefcase in hand. It seems heavy, that we claimed it held only documents and writing equipment for an interview with a pirate king. The day passes relatively peacefully. There are brawls, but in good fun. The blood washed away with celebratory beer. By night, the boisterous cheer has given way to whispers about an uncommonly brutal murder executed within an experimental shipyard. They say you shouldn't enter the yard without stepping in. You couldn't enter the yard without stepping in the victim. The travel writer returns. He greets you with a curt nod as he boards your ship. The August travel writer flips through his notebook while on your deck. Awful thing, that murder. Commonplace here, I suppose. Fortunately, my interview was illuminating, and my business on the morn is complete. We can depart. I have another port to visit, if you care for another 150 echoes. Oh, most likely. Most likely, Chibi. Splendid. The travel writer snaps his journal shut like a trap. The Cumaean Canal next, I think. I don't know where that is. 'Cause I don't think I've been there yet. Some canal I have absolutely not been to. Oh, wait, no! No, I have, I think. It's south of London. We will go there. At some point, I've sort of gone there. We need to find where we need to go for this dude, though, so. But yeah, I'm 90% sure that old man is an assassin. I'm basically helping an assassin. It's fine. It's fine. Jeez. Sea of Lilies is some distance to the southeast. I know that's where my cook wanted to go, but... Sea of Lilies is down this way. Okay, so I don't think the place I need to go is right here. Might be up north, but... It's very pretty down here. The town is called Wisdom. Okay. This is not the place I need to go, though. Also, I apologize. My phone just went to black. We're back, though. It's fine. We know where that is, anyway. Also, I apologize about that if you guys can hear the vibration of my phone. My phone is honestly how I keep track of Twitch chat when I'm streaming because I don't have a secondary monitor. So this is how I wind up doing things. Oh god, no! Turn that off. How is that ship okay? It's stuck in a maelstrom. How is it not dead? think it would be. But we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to come up this way. Doc and Nuncio. Let's get a port report together. There's a statue in the middle of the island. That's hard to miss. There's the way everyone wears a uniform and the way they call each other by their ranks in the postal service. There's the way the port authorities refer to regulations. There's the jargon, the curious habit of referring to any used-up thing as cancelled, as though the whole world were made of stamps. You write about vestigial bureaucracy and about the trappings of order retained far from home. Grab some more fuel while we are here because I have concerns. Okay. Okay, so the thing I need to find is either... I'm hoping it's going to be up here. But if I'm wrong, it's going to be somewhere over here. So, I have concerns. God, what? What's this? What is this? Khan's heart. Huh, not where I need to go. Gained a secret, apparently. This is fine. You could sell your guidebook, you know. Oh god, that is the thing I could do, isn't it? Oh god, nope, nope. Please leave me alone. I don't want to fight you. You have more health than I do. Oh great. There's no good way to do this. Please don't notice me. Ooh. Oh, nope, nope, nope. What's this? Don't know what this is. Oh! This is it! This is it! We found it! Found the place we needed to go for the sketchy dude on the dock. Ooh. Polythreme, taciturn claymen, evasive clothes colonies, walking like humans, cobbles that groan underfoot. On the hills above, a palace villa of marble, but even that rides like buried bones in an earthquake. Gather intelligence. Roads royal and bricks quiver. The windows of all the buildings flash like eyes. The palace above the city swells and roars. This convulsion is how claymen are born. Even now, somewhere below, they open their blind-seeming gray eyes. Okay, let's carry this dude's cargo to London. A great temple has been wounded. It will be years in the dying. It groans and shivers, and the claymen avoid the place out of fear and respect. But you meet one of their number in the shattered chamber where the altar once stood. Let's pay this guy. The clayman swallows the coins in handfuls, for safety, not out of appetite, you assume, and hands you a crate of whispering souls. Human? The souls back home are all but silent. Perhaps these are the souls of chairs, hats, and swords. That's Polythreme for you. Okay. Carry claymen to London. Are they passengers or cargo? They're certainly just the easiest passengers imaginable, unless one turns out to be an unfinished man. How are we doing on the hold? Do we have... I mean... Sure, why not? Each one lies down in its appointed position for the other, next to the other, nested snugly head by foot. We are for London, one explains to you. This is the weirdest situation. Okay. They have shops, but nothing useful. It's fine. Okay. We're here. We're just gonna book it back for London, because at this point we don't really have much else to do down here. Also, they apparently have a place in this island called Obey. So that'll be interesting. Don't get searched. I hope I don't. But who can say, really? Oh geez, this is the creepy music. The creepy music winds up playing like the further out we get from London. Also, I'm slightly concerned that this captain hasn't existed that long, and we've gotten like 3 instances of the stars, quote unquote, changing above us as we go. Like, what is up with that? I feel like I shouldn't have gotten that 3 times in a row, and yet here we are. Okay, we're gonna come up here. Do this port, which this is what? Is this station 3? This is station 3. Stop up at station 3 so we can also get a port report on the way. Station 3. Machinery hums behind high steel walls. Up the hill there are visible outlines of warehouses and a building with a spire. But the lamps are low where they burn at all, and your ship is the only one in the harbor. Yeah, we have something away to in port right now, so I don't know what that is actually gonna do. Church or something else. You stand on the high point of your ship and look to the shore. There's a steepled building on the horizon, by far the largest thing in sight. No cross marks the top of it, nor any other symbol that you recognize. Yeah, they don't have a whole lot here. While we're here, though, let's just speak to the cloudery air. What do we got? Oh god, I can apparently... Yeah, okay, so this is basically how I propositioned her the last time. Let's see. Let's increase our veils and talk to mechanic. Of course. This and this. Also this. Don't forget this. And never forget that. I don't know what exactly he wound up teaching me, but we've boosted our veils by 1 and we lost a secret. We have a second one. Okay. Onwards. And then, of course, once this captain dies, like, everything else will probably change, and... Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna wind up choosing when this captain dies to pass on. Probably the... Oh, what the hell? What is this? Oh god, my terror's at 64. Okay. Your cheeks are wet. You think for a moment that it's sweat, but then the sorrow hits you like a falling stalactite. You're weeping. You double over, inconsolable. So our options are to control yourself or weep. I'm very confused. Like, what the hell? What is this? I guess... what's gonna happen if I do either of these, which I know is the point. I know not knowing is the point. Like, I know this is. I just, I'm going to try to control myself, I think. You dig your nails into the palms of your hands, pacing the ship. The sorrow retreats like a mist to the borders of your thought. But you master yourself, but the taste of salt remains. Okay. We've lost Salt's attention. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Again, I don't know what that means when you have a god's attention in this game. I've never gotten to the point where I've had more than one of that at a time. So, I don't know. Where are we? Not as close as I would like. No landlubber would notice the change, but you feel the air prickle on your skin. Somewhere new. Have we not been up here? We have not been up here, apparently. Huh. No, we have. That's been marked off. What the hell? That's a sisterhood. We're going to avoid that. That place kind of creeps me out. I don't know why. Something about the Abbey and like the sisterhood area pisses, like, not that. It creeps me out, and I don't know why. I'm gonna go with our light off for a little bit. I don't know why they creep me out. They just do. Okay, but I think we found the salt lions. Yep. At the bottom edge of the salt lions. In the right way? Yes, okay. Okay, let's just keep going. Turn this off for a second. Here the wider airs mingle with the airs of the near reaches. Demo's Gate, named for a navigator lost above. How did his bones come below? Nobody knows. We're getting back to safer waters right now, so gonna bypass the sisters. We're so close to home at this point. Also, I think I upset them. I don't know what I did. I feel like I upset the sisters somehow, and I don't know how or why. Let's go back to London. Get this freaking crate of souls off of my ship. And get paid for it. The problem is, usually that guy shows up with, like, when you don't have a whole lot of supplies or fuel, and you know you need it. So I sort of feel like you're... I really hesitate to use the phrase railroaded, but I feel like you don't really have a choice but to accept his deal. Let's collect messages. Hey, welcome home. You may ask how it is. I am here to meet you, and I may remark that we have eyes in the waste and eyes in the hill. In fact, we have more eyes than a knot oracle, and they're all glad to see you, and of course your cargo. Oh, very good, very good. Please accept this small token of my thanks, and please also accept my thanks, and my patron's thanks. Which, we being persons of honor, what understands the true nature of dealings, is much more important. Still, spending money is always good, isn't it? And a captain must eat, and so must the ship, which is why if you look under the pier, you'll find a few helpful contributions of fuel and so forth. Okay, so we got 200 echo off of that. 3 fuel, 1 supply. Oh my god. I did. My ship is at full right now, so we're good on that front. Let's go to... Let's give this guy my port reports. Nuncio. Station 3. Excuse me, let me just call a colleague in. This is my colleague, Mr. Villian of the Ministry of Public Decency. Mr. Villain, I think. This good captain's report is here. If you would care to... Yes, the fire's already lit. Let us... There we go. Now only ashes remain, and it might have caused us such a lot of trouble. Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your discretion. Here's your payment. You need not trouble yourself further in this affair. You've been to Demo's Gate? Yes. We got some more echo off of that. Polythrium, the king with 100 hearts. What a useful fellow. Without his exports, I'll be delivering my own coal. Okay, so now you've given him a report there. Let's see. I have to give him... Oh, that's right. I have things I have to give him. It's fine. London, let's deliver the clay men. This is where they wanted to be, or at least where they're supposed to be. One by one, they rise uncomplainingly, with no trace of stiffness or discomfort from the long voyage. The deck resounds beneath their heavy tread. A shroom yard manager waits on dock, tapping her foot. About time, she says. Here's your payment. Come along now, you. There's a good construct. Okay, let's... Oh, we have new recruits. Good afternoon, Captain. Perhaps I could do your engine some good. No, I'm quite the engineer. Difficult to credit, isn't it? But here are my references. I have an engineer. We're good. Claymen, I don't know if they're slaves exactly. I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't know that they're technically slaves. But my knowledge is extremely limited. So, you know. Let's see. We are going to visit the university. University has an inexhaustible appetite for secrets, Z specimens, and other tidbits of esoteric lore. Provide a secret to prove yourself worthy of entry. Oh yes, the university's maritime liaison whispers breathily. Oh yes, this is quite a tasty one. Let me explain it to you. He? Explains, teeth glinting. Okay, so we have things to give to them now. The alarming scholar is mercurial, to say the least. A creature of sudden moods and provoking teeth. Possibly her... Is it her? Appointment as University Maritime Liaison was precautionary. To keep his... Is it his? Razor-sharp enthusiasm from causing too many injuries in the faculty. Okay, so... This dude is the sort of gender ambiguity I aspire to. I'm just saying. Ah, yes, the scholar whispers breathily. I have a budget for acquisitions. What have you brought me? If you have any knowledge items that the scholar will buy, they'll appear below. I have 3 things the scholar will buy, so let's do this. Let's give them a memory of distant shores. As the alarming scholar listens, tears well in the depths of those shining, or is it blazing, eyes. They overflow, splashing onto the desk blotter. Stop! She sobs at last. This is too beautiful. Allow me to bring the macaw of memories I wish each individual tone recalled. And let's give them a Z story. Difficult dictation. Thrilling. Let me hear every detail. First, I must find my fountain pen. Oh, how regrettable. It has a spider impaled on the nib. Excuse me. Let me... Good heavens, it's still alive. Pass me that volume of Gibbon. There we go. Do you have another pen? Outlandish artifact, which I didn't realize I had. Shaped by the hands unknown in London. Careful scrutiny. We have something like that. He declares, but not very like that. Interesting. I have some ideas about suitable fees. Ooh, excellent. More money. Awesome. Let's leave. Because we've given them everything. Let's visit the Rose Market. It's down here. Nope, it's fine. I think we're going to rest in a room here to try to reduce my terror a bit, because it's high. I have concerns. The rats keep you awake of nights with their muttering and skirmishing, but the bed is warm and the door is a lock. Excellent. Let's read the morning paper after this. Usual news, as per everything else we've gotten. Shops, let's see. Let's get some more. Oh, we have fuel. Supplies we have need of. Let's see. What else have we got? What else have we got? Well, I could buy a better cannon. This is what I've got right now. It's not great. It's suitable, but it's not... It's not amazing. I can't afford to properly upgrade this ship, but... I feel like I should buy a cannon, but I don't know. I'm not sure what stagger amount means, but... Oh, I need torpedo components for that. That's not going to be very useful to me. I think these are... Be sure you don't buy a forward gun, you only have a deck slot. Ah! There's my ship. Hold. Yeah, okay, deck slot. Deck slot. I'm never sure what's what. I'm still learning, like, colors and everything. Deck weapon. That's a forward weapon. That's an aft weapon. That doesn't help me. I mean, this is a deck weapon. This is a deck weapon and it's an upgrade. This is what I have currently. Like, I could buy one of these more expensive things, but at the same time, like, I don't have, like, torpedoes or anything, so... And I do want to preserve what I have of some of my money, because I do need to think about supplies and fuel and such. And also, I just noticed we're at 5 o'clock. So this is technically where we should wind up swapping things around and ending for the day. So we're going to sell this, and then I believe we're going to... Oh my god, where's my naval thing? We're going to sell that. Thank you, sir. Okay, so this is where we're going to... I'm going to make sure the game saves. There we go. And this is where we're going to wrap things up for the day. Better engine is also on the list. I do need to do that. but that is probably where we're going to have to stop for right now because we are past 5. I've just noticed. And I do need to wind up wrapping up. I do apologize. I do love hanging out with you guys, but oh, I do need to end things for the day. Um, Also, oh my god, deluge of emotes. Thank you. Much appreciated. I hope you. Oh my god, so many bees. The bees! Not the bees! Sorry, sorry. Silly reference, I admit. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. And I. I mean, I hope they love me. I don't know. I do not know. But again, thank you guys so much for coming and for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. I hope you all had fun. If you're new around here and you enjoyed today's stream, there is a heart-shaped button that is down, I believe, in that corner now. Um, it's okay, Eris. I understand. Sometimes working on things tends to coincide with everything else. I get it. But yes, if you click that heart-shaped button, you will find out when we're live next. Our next stream is going to be Thursday afternoon. Wow, Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be playing some ESO. We're going to be ESO is going to be Thursday evening. It'll be a fun time. We're just going to keep it super casual, keep digging up some antiquities, keep completing maps and things like that. And speaking of ESO, one of our new Nest friends, Luna, is currently streaming, so I'm going to set up a host for that. Please go over and say hello. Please give Luna many hearts. Filthy or not, it's up to you. She is a good bean, and we heart her very much. Alright, so I'm going to set that up, and I'm also going to go find food, because I need to... Oh, I have D&D after this, so bit rushed, but we're good. We're good. Heard you all very, very much. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna set up a host for my friend Luna. And until I see you guys again on Thursday, you all have a good rest of your day. Have a good week. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.